As Saudi Aramco closes in on a $100 billion prize, we ask, what's the latest for the world's biggest IPO? I'm Eddie Taylor, and this is Inside AB. So Jeremy, the world's biggest IPO, what are the details?
Okay, well this is massive. Saudi Aramco is the world's largest oil exporter, of course. The government values it at $2 trillion, which means that a 5% IPO would be worth $100 billion. That's the world's largest ever. The float is planned for this year now. It's been talked about for a while, but obviously we're on the home straight towards the deal now, which means there's a lot of people vying for a slice of the action.
Give us the details. Who's jostling for position here?
Okay, well, first and foremost, you've got the Tadawul exchange, which is Saudi stock exchange, of course. They want to be the home exchange for Aramco. Of course they do. So they're busy sort of ramping up their own processes. They're planning their own IPO for this year, apparently. They just this week announced a raft of updates to their practices to bring them in line with international standards, and they are seeking emerging market status. That news broke late last year, and the decision will be made this year on that. So they're the first ones to note.
This is a massive IPO. This has got the financial world all really excited. This has caught the attention of London and New York, hasn't it?
Yeah, of course, Tadawul are not just going to walk away with this one. So you've got governments, banks and foreign stock markets all wanting involvement. Trump, it was his first visit, of course, as president.
Already tweeted about it.
He did. Well, and that tweet was, what did he say in the tweet?
I don't know, was it a tweet or was it a statement? He said something like, you know, we'd love to have your IPO with us or something like that.
I'm sure it was a tweet, yeah. Theresa May, of course, she's visited at least once. The Lord Mayor of London was there touting for business, trying to get the IPO, attract it to the LSE. Japan Bank just last week reported to be weighing $2 billion loan facility. UK agreed a $2 billion loan guarantee in November. So everybody wants in on the action, as I said.
It's not just the financial world that's excited though, is it? This is really still all about the oil, isn't it?
Yeah, well, let's not forget that this is an oil company, and some interesting developments last week. Of course, oil had gone down to $28 a barrel in January 2016. Last week, it went up to $68 a barrel. So those OPEC cuts that they made, that they agreed in Vienna last November, have really worked to the point, in fact, where it's going to go the opposite way soon. If it goes above $70, they might have a problem because then shale is a lot more profitable and it makes sense. So it's going to be about a balance. But it's basically good times for the Saudi oil industry with caveats.
And the government needs the revenues. It's got bills to pay.
Yeah, of course. VAT, of course, has been introduced to Saudi like it has to the UAE. And the government issued a directive that state employees should be paid an extra 1,000 riyals a month for a year, 10% extra to degree program employees. This is just chump change for Aramco. But the point about this is that investors obviously around the world are now looking at this company to see, you know, is it independent? Does it run profitably?
Has it got costs under control? Be another thing.
Yeah, of course. So there's a quote here, Tariq Hakish, MD, MENA Core Financial Services. Investors will look at efficiency and cost control. So, of course, when you go public, you are under the scrutiny and the spotlight of investors around the world.
So how does this all play into the other big macro news, if you like, from Saudi Arabia, the reform agenda that's taking place right now?
Yeah, of course. This sits at the most, the interesting time in Saudi's history, really, at least modern history. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, of course, he has a big reform agenda to reduce reliance on oil. He wants to sell off government assets. He wants to create the world's largest sovereign wealth fund. And obviously he needs money to do this. So Aramco's a huge part of this. He's got to get this right. Neom City is going to cost $500 billion. And his social reform, which is very extensive, is groundbreaking. It's not going to work, presumably, unless he gets the economics side of things right. So you cannot underestimate the importance of this IPO to Saudi and obviously to investors around the world.
So, a lot at stake in the Saudi Aramco IPO. We'll be watching this really closely in the coming weeks and months. Thanks for watching Inside AB. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.